Good morning. Good morning, friends. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Woohoo. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So I want to give you just a little snapshot of the magic that's happening here. So this morning we got a text from Julie who said, I have COVID. And there was a bunch of us, the volunteer list, jumped in, and by the time I got here, everything was done. So we got it all handled. So Julie is absolutely essential to us. But would you look what's happening at this community? There was a buzz here this morning. I walked in, and there was all this activity, and I literally cried. Would you look at what's happening in this community? It's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. So the kids' camp finished up their extravaganza last week, and they had so much fun. Susan, please stand, Susan, and wave at us. So this was a joint project between Unity and Polestar Gardens. There was Unity helpers and Polestar helpers, and the kids had a blast. And if you will go outside on your way out, there's a vegetable stand that they painted and put together, and there are homegrown veggies for love offerings out on this table. But oh my gosh, would you look at that? So much fun. So the kids camp, the kids program is on fire, and we will be having some announcements about what's coming for the September curriculum in October. So we've got things underway that we can plan ahead for and advertise. So big doings in the youth and family ministry. If there are new visitors to us today and you haven't received a packet from the welcome team, just put your hand up and a packet will appear in your hand if you'd like one. Our speaker today is Reverend Sharon Bush. Leane Gabel's reading, and the musicians are John Magny and his family. Welcome back, John. Thank you. And this family, so part of the magic that happened when I walked in was the Magny family was rehearsing. So that's really something. Otis has gotten big enough to be on the drums, and Elena has this gorgeous voice that contributes to all of this. So musical gifted children in this magical family. So thank you for coming to share with us today. Each Sunday, there's a prayer chaplain who's available to pray with people just following the service, if that would feel good to you. So today's prayer chaplain is Janice Ballard. Janice, would you stand and wave? So Janice will be in the library, and sometimes it's just the ticket to have a moment with somebody that you can say, would you pray with me today? So Janice is there to do that. I have a horde of people who have asked to give announcements. So would the horde come forward? And would you look at this? And I made them promise that it's brief, quick. We got to do this quickly. But while they're lining up, I want to greet the folks online. And Reverend Jim got a message from one of our online-only folks. And I just wanted to say thanks, Ginger. And she wrote, Your community blesses my life in so many ways. I'm grateful for your online Sunday lessons and Rev Jim's Thursday discussions. Love abounds. Thank you. So I just keep wanting to make the online community real because they're really out there. Come on up, Lil.
Okay. Hi. So for this week, we have 2 events from the Connections Social Committee. And the first one is going to be at our house, my house in Gerald's, and it's Picnic in the Park. And it's going to be Wednesday night from 5:30 to 8:30. It's in the bulletin. You don't have our address here, so you'll need to call. And you don't have my phone number here, but if you look on the back of the bulletin, it's got Gerald's phone number, Gerald Gates. So you can call him and he can tell you where to come. And then on Friday night, we have movie night here. And that will be at 7 p.m. and it's the Kite Runner. And I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks.
Thanks. Come on up, Joellen.
Thanks for the adjustment. Thank you for the adjustment. Okay. Well, time flies when you're having potlucks. Time flies when you're having potlucks. This is our next one. You'll see those signs over. This is our annual Unity Potluck. And why would you come? Well, because there's food, and everybody brings food. And a lot of times we're sitting in here and we face the front and we don't talk to each other very much. So this is an opportunity for us to commune and get to know each other better. And that is August 27th after the service. Thanks.
Thank you. Kimber. Clear on forward.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm here to thank you all for such a successful Salad for the Souls potluck fundraiser last Sunday. In particular, I want to thank the volunteers that helped set up and clean up. Our goal is to raise $700 to support a family next summer in the Vegetable Connection feeding program. Well, drum roll. We raised $659 plus. Woohoo! Thank you, everyone. And I hear that there's still a check or two coming in, so we're going to reach that goal. I just wanted to let you know how much and the Vegetable Connection really support or really appreciate this support. Thank you very much.
Joellen's passing a clipboard for the annual picnic.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Good morning. I'm Kamina, and I want to invite all of you to come on Tuesday, this Tuesday, in the Roomy Room, 7 p.m. to 8:30 for meditation, followed by, all of it's free, but followed by an opportunity to experience a energy healing called pranic healing. So I hope to see you all there. Thanks.
Thank you. Gloria.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gloria. I'm representing the art community here, and on the 19th of this month, August 19th, the art community, or anybody who would like to participate in being part of the art wall in October and November, you can come and work on your art together on August 19th. The other new news is that Unity has graciously opened up the friendship room for artwork. Monday through Thursday, you can come and work on a project that you have, be part of an art community. And we will have some storage for you if you have things that you'd like to store here. But mainly, it's like an open studio. And it's so fabulous. I just can hardly stand here. But anyway, the way it will work is that anybody who wants to work on a project will show up at the front desk when Julie's here, and she'll check us in and just know that we're there. Bring your own art supplies, work. We'll have some music going, and clean up, of course, and then you can store some of the things here that if you'd like to too. So I hope to see some of you here. If you want to know more about it, just contact me. I'll be at the back of the room after the service. Thank you.
So the other part of the art community is on Saturday, August 19th from 10 to 1. Anisha Kuhn and Janice Ballard will be offering open studio time to create a new piece of art or work on a piece you already started. The next collective art show is called Manifest and will go up in October. Can you believe how much that is? So I have to just say briefly, my friend Kendra is there. Kendra is a longtime Unity person and has worked on boards in Boulder and other places. And last week she came up to me and said, when we were turning things over, I called her for advice. And I was talking about the community model, and she said, I've never seen that work. And when I saw her last week, she said, okay, I take it back. It's working. So thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do our centering prayer. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Thank you, friends.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's really good days for me and Kathy because we've got our family from St. John, Virgin Islands, up here. Got Elena over there. We've got Lauren there, back on the drums. Otis, 10 days away from being 9 years old. And here on the 8-string guitar bass combination is Bo. And we're going to start with a song that he wrote called Soul.
Let's let some soul into this room. Breathe some life into this groove. We'll all feel better once we do. We can all get together and you can finally relax your mind. Trust that this jam is gonna work out fine. So let's let soul take hold tonight. Let's let love run free and wild. Let's let soul take hold tonight. Yeah. Let there be light at the end of this long winter night. I think I know a way we can work together, make it all feel right. Just let that soul into this room. Breathe some life into this groove, and we'll all feel better once we do. We can all get together and you can finally relax your mind. Trust it's all gonna be just fine. So let's let soul take hold tonight. Let's let love run free and wild. Let's let soul take hold tonight. Oh, tonight. And you can rest your tired eyes, 'cause everything's gonna be just fine. So let's let soul take hold tonight. Let's let love run free and wild. Let's let soul take hold tonight. Yeah. Oh, take hold tonight. Oh, yeah. Take hold of my life. Please, please. Oh, let's let soul take hold tonight.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. I think we've got Leane who's going to come up and do a little reading for us right now.
I think that's good. This reading is called Here and There by Mark Nepo. Here is always beneath there. I remember sitting for a long time on the edge of a summer lake, watching the far shore. I could see early light flood the water in the distance, and this somehow made the other side seem exotic. Every morning I'd sit on my small edge of lake and watch the other side, imagining that a certain mystery awaited me. With each day, its call grew larger. Finally, on the 7th day, I had to go there, and up earlier than usual, I rowed across the lake, beached my small boat, and sat in the exact spot I had been watching. As I looked about, the aura of otherness I had seen from my daily perch was gone. I was somewhat undone, for though this far shore was beautiful and peaceful, the wet clump of shore I ran my hand through was the same where I'd begun, the same as where I'd begun. I started to laugh at myself, for looking back at where I'd been sitting every day, I saw early light flood the water in the distance, and now where I'd been living seemed exotic. Now a certain mystery called me back to where I was. So often we imagine that there is more full of gold than here. It's the same with love and dreams and the work of our lives. We see the light everywhere but where we are and chase after what we think we lack, only to find humbly it was with us all along.
Yeah. One thing that's really been fun for me since I've been doing music here is the getting themes from the speakers. This case, Reverend Sharon. And the theme here is about dancing in the rain. Well, it started raining yesterday, really started to pour. I put up my umbrella and I hurried to get indoors. Two little boys rushed past me through the downpour. They did run, having so very much fun, catching raindrops on their tongue. Oh, my grown-up world
has clearly gone insane. Little one, show me how to dance in the rain.
They were stomping through the puddles, splashing one another with glee. The two little guys were laughing so hard they could barely breathe. Now me, I'm always waiting to play when the weather is fine. But the little boys didn't mind. They weren't waiting for the sun to shine. Oh, my
grown-up world has clearly gone insane. Little one, show me how to dance in the rain.
Oh,
little one, show me how to dance in the rain. Little one, show me how to dance in the rain. Little one, show me how to dance in the rain.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, that's my talk. Literally, working with John is so much fun because I get ideas about what I'm going to say to you. We send a couple of emails, and you saw what happens. So thank you, John and family. So it is true. Last month, during one of our many rainstorms, I glanced out my front window and two little boys were playing in the rain. They were stomping their feet in the puddles, turning their faces up to the sky with their mouths open, catching the water. They were laughing so hard, I am positive that their wet faces were tears of joy as they giggled. Dancing in the rain. I loved watching them, and it's kind of become my theme for the last 6 weeks. So a while later, after I'd seen these little boys, my daughter Leslie called, and I've shared with you before about Leslie. She lives in New York, and for the last 2.5 years, she's been dealing with stage 4 bile duct cancer. And I shared this story, and now I'm going to have to tell her to get online and listen to the song about the boys splashing in the rain. And so we got to talking about the flooding that was going on in New York, close to where she lives. And we had some concerns because I was traveling there in a couple of days. And so she said to me, "Mom, no matter what happens, you and I will dance in the rain." So I'd like to share just a little bit about my visit to New York with her. First of all, from the time I checked my bag outside at Southwest, the man who checked my bag radiated happiness, set the theme for my whole trip as he wished me a good time. So throughout that entire day of travel, I was blessed, really blessed, to be around people that seemed to be so positive and so happy. I take a little carry-on bag with me, and I'm short, and so reaching that bin sometimes is a real stretch. I never had to put my bin up. Whoever was standing next to me all offered to put my bag up there. So I'm here to report, despite what you hear on the news, travel days can be good. So I had a busy visit with my daughter. We were celebrating her 55th birthday. There were 2 parties. Now, I cannot even begin to remember The last time I went to 2 parties in one weekend. The first party started at noon on Saturday, and it was at a beautiful, beautiful home with 200 acres with views of the Catskills. We swam in a heated Olympic pool as we looked at this blue sky with fluffy clouds and the scented air of the pine trees. And I met many, many nice people. The party ended at 2 a.m. You cannot believe how tired I was when I came home. So on Sunday, I watched our service, and our online service that we offer is wonderful when we travel, so we can still be here with you. And I was touched by Kelly and LJ as they shared their story of accepting and working with their amazing son, Gabriel. He was born appearing female, but from the time he could talk, he's known that he was male. It's been a journey for them as a family. And I have shared their talk and invited other Unity ministers to watch it because I think it's a story that everybody needs to hear. It's a story of love. It's a story of a family bounded in love. So my daughter and I spent the rest of Sunday kind of sharing about where she is and our belief in miracles, and yet at the same time realizing how ill she could be. And she said to me, where I am in my life, I'm doing my very best to live consciously every day as I celebrate life while I live. It was a bittersweet day. Bittersweet. And as a result of where she's been in the last 2.5 years, Sloan Kettering has asked her to be a coach to other cancer patients. So Monday, the day of her birthday, many of her friends showed up late in the afternoon with food and wine. And during that party, 2 of her friends, Kay and Sharon, took me aside. And they said to me, Mom, we want you to know we have her. We have her. No matter what happens, we're here for her. We tell her if she needs someone to wipe her butt, we're here. We are here for her, and we carry your phone number with us. I can't begin to tell you how deeply touched I was. Leslie is very gifted to have good friends. And they're also a gift for me because I know they're there with her, just like we're a gift to each other. So on Tuesday, as we hugged at the airport, neither one of us knew whether it would be our last hug. And she said to me, Mom, remember, we got to dance in the rain. And a lot of rain to remind me of it. So there are many idioms to the phrase, when it pours, and sometimes it's followed by, we have to dance in the rain. And the phrase originally was created by Morton Salt in 1914 as an advertising slogan, when it rains, it pours. So when it rains, it pours, to some, it means drowning ourselves in misery or having problems in our lives. The phrase also means that good or bad things happen in the same short time. And some people claim that those bad things come in sets of 3. That's an old wives' tale. So our weather reporters here in Colorado say we're in the monsoon season. And after yesterday's rain, I believe it, just like Arizona. So I am really convinced that their forecast is correct. We've had so many days with rain. And taking shelter in the storm is what we do. We're out and it starts raining and we run for a door somewhere. But it's also a metaphor for us, that we can apply that same action, seeking shelter from the turmoil of our lives, that sometimes shows up. In Unity, we really believe and teach that we create our world with our thoughts. Positive thoughts help us create a happy life, a peaceful life, and negative thoughts move us into a place of darkness and doubt. We've all been there, right? So I have practiced being aware of my thoughts for many, many years, probably more than 25 years. It's been part of my life. And yet, on occasion, just like you, I have days where my thoughts are sad or anxious. And this past week, Leslie had her quarterly MRI, and I just couldn't shake off the sad feeling within me as she waited for the results. When I heard the results at first, I was disappointed. She still has cancer. But the good news is that her 8 tumors have not grown. So I am learning this year to be blessed even when I have tears in my eyes. And Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote the poem, and it's called "This Too Shall Pass." And he wrote, "Be still, sad heart, and cease repining. Behind the clouds is the sun still shining. The fate is the common fate of all. Into each life some rain must fall. Some days must be dark and dreary." So why is that? On a spiritual path, we inevitably hit rough patches. We suffer setbacks, stagnation, disillusionment, loss. Personal issues that we thought we addressed years ago suddenly come back to haunt us. We think to ourselves, if we didn't have these problems, we'd be so enlightened. I've not reached it. Our challenges serve a purpose. They are our springboard for growth. Without them, we would not progress, much less even begin to awaken. Our problems are not separate from our path. They are part of this human journey. We never know what will wash up on the shores of our life. Sometimes wonderful surprises show up when we least expect them, and we find ourselves in a place of happiness and wonder. And other times we find ourselves feeling deeply hurt by an unexpected event that we have absolutely no control over. So there's a story written by a man named Mac Anderson. And he's from the writing group that writes the Simple Truth books. And he tells us how we can be an example to others. So he wrote, the date was July 16th, 2006. It was late in the afternoon, and I was sitting in a hotel room in Louisville, Kentucky. I was scheduled to speak that evening for the Kentucky Association of school administrators. I was a little down in the dumps. I hadn't exercised lately because I was traveling so much. And my presentation was scheduled for 7, but they had suggested I show up at 6 to see the performance before me. Little did I know that I was about to see something I'd never forget, something that would change my life. They introduced a young musician. They said, "Let's give a big hand welcome for Mr. Patrick Henry Hughes." He was rolled onto the stage in his wheelchair and began to play the piano. His fingers danced across the keys as he made the most beautiful music. And then he began to sing. It was even more beautiful. It just touched me. For some reason, however, I knew I was seeing something very special. There was this aura around him that I really can't explain. And his smile. Oh my gosh, his smile was magic. About 10 minutes into his performance, someone came on stage and said, "I'd like to share a short video with you." The Patrick Henry Hughes story, and the lights went dim. Patrick Henry Hughes was born with no eyes and a tightening of the joints that left him crippled for life. Before his first birthday, he discovered the piano. His mom said, "I could hit any note on the piano, and with 1 or 2 tries, he'd get it." By his second birthday, he was playing requests for songs like "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star" or "You Are My Sunshine." And his father was ecstatic. "We might not be able to play baseball, but we can make music together." Today, Patrick is a junior at the University of Louisville. His father attends classes with him, and he's part of the 214-member marching band. He's blind, wheelchair-bound, and he's a trumpet player. He and his father do it together. They attend all of the band practices and the halftime performances. In front of thousands, his father rolls and rotates his son around the field to the cheers of Patrick's fans. In order to attend Patrick's classes in every practice, his father works the graveyard shift at UPS. Patrick says, "My dad's a hero." That's love, folks. That's just love. So, but even more than his unbelievable music talent, it was Patrick's attitude of gratitude that touched my soul. On stage between songs, he would talk to the audience about his life and how blessed he was. The musical gifts I have, the great opportunity to meet so many new people, Patrick said, have enriched my life, and I am so grateful. When I heard that, I knew that my life was ready to meet Patrick Henry Hughes. I needed a hero, and I found one. If I live to be 100, I'll never forget that night. Never will I forget that night. That smile, that music, but most importantly, his wonderful attitude of gratitude. I returned to Chicago and shared Patrick's story with my wife and our team at Simple Truths. The next day, a coworker who'd heard my story came in and said, "Life is not about waiting for storms to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain." We all face adversity in this human life, but it's not about the adversity. It's how we react to it that determines the joy and happiness we experience. During tough times, do we spend too much time being sad or feeling sorry for ourselves? Or can we, with gratitude, learn to dance in the rain? To remain centered in a storm, we can take the teaching of our way shower, Jesus, who gave us the metaphor of calming the stormy wind and calming the sea by saying with full presence in that moment, "Peace, be still. Peace, be still." So to find peace and inner stillness in troubled times, I have 3 suggestions. Shift your attention from the external situation to the calm, abiding presence of God within. Direct our attention from obsessing over the past or worrying about the future to being fully present every moment. Give our attention through self-care and kindness to ourselves and others. We bless ourselves and we bless others, and those blessings come back to us, increased and multiplied. So being in this very moment is the only thing we have. In the present, there is no time. It is the point between the past and the future. It's always there, and it's the only point we can access in time. Everything that happens, everything happens in the present moment. Everything that will happen and can only happen in the present moment. It's impossible for anything to exist outside the present moment. You've heard it said so much before. This isn't something that's new. How important it is to live in the present moment. You've also heard advice like, don't get caught thinking about the past or the future. Live in the now. Be present in your own life. And being present in our own life is not always easy. In our current 21st century, there's always something coming up that we need to prepare or anticipate. Our lives are so well documented, it's never been easier to get lost in the past. It shows up on our phones, it shows up on our computers. So, given the fast-paced, hectic lives that we live, we just need to realize to not get sucked in to thinking about the past or projecting about the future. Because when we project about the future, we're almost always borrowing tomorrow's troubles. So all we have is this moment. And we need to be really careful we don't let it slip away. So I forgot about that this past week when I felt so sad about my daughter's illness and started silently projecting into the future, worrying about what might happen. I momentarily forgot to turn to spirit. So, lesson learned, I'll try again. But I should have focused on Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, where he tells us not to be able to stop thinking is a dreadful part of being human. We don't realize it because almost everybody else is suffering from it. So it is considered normal. This incessant mental worrying prevents you from finding the realm of your inner stillness. And that is inseparable from being. No matter what's going on in our outer world, no matter what we're feeling or thinking, we can always just be still, be present, and feel the presence of spirit within us. So in closing, my friends, I invite you to dance in the rain with me. I'll hold your hands and dance with you as you hold mine, and we'll help each other through the storms of life. God bless you.
Thank you, Sharon. That was great. Yeah, we're going to ask you all to help us with our thoughts or prayers, okay? Our thoughts are prayer, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayer.
So I invite you to be still, to feel your feet on the floor, to breathe in the breath of God, and release any thoughts, any worries, any tension. So we breathe in the breath of God, and we release. And we go into the stillness, to the stillness where we find peace. To that place where love lives. To the place where we listen. And we know in the deepest part of us how blessed we are to experience this human journey. And we let our spirits rest. Rest with God. Be renewed. So in this moment, in this very moment, in the silence, we feel and know the presence of Spirit. So in the calmness of this moment, we say thank you, God, and so it is.
If you all could help me sing, may the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's dreams abide in me. Illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace illuminate our heart now and forevermore. Now and
So thank you, John. And thank you for each and every one of you without exception. You know, nothing can happen unless you're here and your energy combines into the energy of this service. Nothing can happen unless you volunteer, and we have so many volunteers. As Ann shared this morning, she walked in and we've got musicians musicianing, we got children's workers, children's working, so forth and so on. So thank you. And then nothing happens unless we give. So I trust that in this moment that you can give him your heart generously for the support of this ministry. So let's have the ushers come forward and let's bless our offering with the words on the screen. So together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Take a little time to talk about a couple things coming up. We will have a choir song next week, so a little practice tomorrow night. And on October 13th, we're going to do a music fair here featuring the choir. At this time, I'd like to get my family band back up. I'm going to tell you about one other thing, personal thing. We have a block party in front of my house, Sherwood Street between Mountain and LaPorte next Saturday. Everybody come. Anybody who wants to sit in and play music can do that too. Okay? Here's another song that I got the idea from Rev Sharon. This is called You Can Always Come Back Home. And Lauren's going to take the lead on this one.
I see Mother Love standing in the doorway, waving as I go. She said, my daughter, just remember, it's important that you know, you can always come back home. You can always come back home. No matter how far you roam, you can always come back home. Yeah, you know it's all up to you. You can do it anytime that you choose. Yeah, it's easy. You're already near it. Just reach out for love and return to spirit. You can always come back home. Yeah, you can always come back home. No matter how far you roam, you can always come back home. Father, said the prodigal son, I know I don't deserve to be forgiven.
No.
Father said, I don't care about all that. Son, I'm just so happy that you're back. You can always come back home. Yeah. You can always come back home.
Yeah, you know you can.
No matter how far you roam, you can always come back home. Oh, yeah. You can always come back home. You can always come back home.
You can always come back home.
Yeah. No matter how far you roam.
You can always far you roam.
Oh, you can always come back home. Yeah. You can always come back home. No matter how far.
You can always come back home.
Received with open arms. No matter how far you roam, you can always come back home.
Thank
Cody
you.
on the bells. Thank you all so much. Oh, we sure appreciate that, y'all. Bo and Lauren and Elena and Otis.
Yeah, you can always come to Colorado, folks from Virgin Islands. Yeah. Hey, I think we've got some young ones back there that are going to burst in here just in a moment. Come on up. By the way, did you know that there's some dancers at the back of the auditorium during that last song? You're always welcome to get up and dance if you'd like to. This is not a Baptist church where dancing is prohibited. Doug, do we have some folks coming? Okay, there they are. There they are. Good. Come on up.
This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it
shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here on the corner of lives and mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of lives and mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of lives and mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
This is Nancy Hughes, and Nancy is our lead in our youth and family team right now, so thank you, Nancy.
Oh, this is a joy. This is going to be so much fun. We're so excited about the program. We've got a team building. If anybody would love to be on this team, let us know. We'd love the energy. We want some creative ideas. It's just going to be a blast. So let's get started. Oh, can I say something? Can we change the words to that song? Sure, whatever you'd like. Instead of little light of mine, it's a big light. It does not matter what size the body happens to be. It's this huge light coming out of these amazing people, these amazing souls here. We had fun today. You want to start?
So today we talked about the word namaste. So in India, when people meet and part, they say namaste.
I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides.
I honor the place in you of love, of light, of truth, of peace.
I honor the place in you where if you are in that place in you, I am in that place in me. Altogether, there is only one of us. Namaste.
Yeah.
Koki taught us today how to not only say namaste, but to do the accompanying movement as well. So can you show us again?
This is the movement when you do it. Namaste.
Okay. And now yes, all together.
Okay.
Ready?
Namaste.
Hey.
Thank you, guys.
So with that, let's all just circle up as we close our service. So let's all practice that once again. Put your hands together. Namaste. And now the words on our screen. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.